Our hero section will be using container fluid to begin to arrange elements on the web page. What container fluid means is that whatever you fix in this div box, why I say it's as boxes is because on your web page you want to arrange things or you want to align them in such a way that they are organized. So containers in Bootstrap are just boxes that you use to arrange elements on your web page such that they are organized. In this case, I'm using my container fluid. I'm using container fluid. You notice that what this container fluid does is it makes all the elements are close to the edge of the browser or close to the edge of your web page. So you arrange all the elements in such a way that it occupies 100% width of the web page. So let us check containers in the Bootstrap documentation so that we will understand what I'm talking about. So containers are a fundamental building block for Bootstrap that contain part and align your content within a given device. So with containers, you don't really have to worry about responsiveness on various screen sizes. In our own case, we are using container fluid. So you notice that for container fluid, all of the elements or container are arranged in such a way that it occupies 100% of every screen size. Let me go back and adjust for you. So you notice that it takes up 100% of the container or 100% of the space that that element is occupying, in the web page. So you notice that no matter how much I adjust this, it takes 100% from left to right. You can see that. So we'll be hard coding. We want to hard code this hero section. So in this hero section, we're going to be using the Bootstrap grid system. We're going to notice that we have like 3 rows in this div class container fluid. We have like 3 rows. First the picture, followed by some text with some buttons, which is inside one container. This is inside one container. This text is inside another container, which makes 1, 2, 3 rows. So the grid system helps us stack them in such a way that they adjust to different screen sizes. Without the grid system, you have this picture arranged carelessly horizontally. This one may just come under, this one may just come under. But with the grid system, you can arrange your containers in a more presentable way. So for the Bootstrap 5 grid system, we have about 12 number of columns. So inside our row, we are going to be arranging our elements using columns. Let's start hard coding. So from what I've showed you in the previous page, what we'll be creating, we've noticed that inside the div class container, we have like 3 rows, one for the image, one that contains text and some buttons, and one other just beneath it as a text. So we are going to be creating a div with the class row so that we can arrange our elements inside. Now we have div with the class row. We also want to add other classes that would, have effect on the elements inside that row. But before that, I would create the different columns for the elements, which first we have the image. We have a div element. We're going to be using a column class so that we can align them nicely using the Bootstrap grid system. So we have our image. I'm going to be using the image src. Go up the folder and look for an image to use. Yeah, I will use my headshot. You begin to see the whole thing aligned here. The reason why we have an overflow is because we have not set an image fluid class. So I will set a class of image fluid. Yeah, I have to use an apparatus. Okay, so I'll set a class of image fluid to the, you notice how everything is coming together. It's no longer overflowing, and when I adjust the screen size, I will have the image adjust to the screen size. So what other column do we have? We have a column for the text. So I'm going to create just still inside the row. I'm creating another column for the text. So let's just use this text as like a placeholder so that we can see what's happening in the code. So I am going to use a class of display4 just so that I have a larger font, and I'll try to use text uppercase so that it will apply the text to become uppercase. Text uppercase, you see it's beginning to appear somewhere there. And I will also apply the class of LHLG. It's just to give it some line height. I'll give it some line height, and so what the LG is doing is that in this case I've combined LH and LG, that's LH and LG. So this class sets the line height of the text. In this case it sets a large line height. The LH stands for line height. The LH here stands for line height, and LG represents large. Adjusting the line height can affect the spacing between lines of text, improving readability or achieving a specific visual style. That's why we have added that class. So the combination of these classes, as the element of the class display4, text uppercase, LH, LG, will have a larger font size. The text will be transformed to uppercase, and there will be a relatively larger line height. This might be used for creating a visually prominent and stylized heading or display text on a web page. Alright, out of the way, I would simply take out this placeholder and use the text that I want to look exactly like this. And for that, we'll be needing to use the span tag. So the span tag just simply allows us, be able to make stylings on our text. It allows us, so the span tag simply allows us able to style specific parts of text or specific parts of our code. So you notice that I have added a span class text warning in Bootstrap. It just gives you that yellow color. Don't worry, by the time I bring this down, you'll be able to see the graphic. So for designer success, that's why it gives you the green color, danger for red, primary for blue. So things are beginning to look pretty good, but then we need to arrange it in such a way that everything goes on nicely using the Bootstrap grid system. So like I said, we can have 12 columns. We want to arrange our columns nicely, so I will need to add some other classes to each of these. Watch me as I do it. welcome back. We now want to code this part of the row in our container. So this is the part that we want to. You notice that the font is bold and the font size is also increased. So let us go underneath it and introduce our p tag. Remember what I said about display 4? It's like gives you a larger font size, an increased font size. So, and we also want the font to be bold. So FW bold, FW bold, and I press enter, and I'm going to duplicate this so that I would have for the two texts, I'm glory and also annulate. So here I have I'm glory, and for the second text I have and for okay, good. So you can see what's happening here. So now that we have this section of the row, we want to code the next part, which includes the buttons. So these buttons over here. So you notice that in this code over here, we have like a spacing between this last text and the buttons here. So we need to have like a margin between this element. So on my next, I need to create a div that holds the button in place because it's in an entire different div. So I need to create a div that holds it in place. Then I'm going to give it a margin along the y-axis, that's up and down, of 4, so that there's a space between these buttons and this text above here, and between these buttons and the text below it. So because for the sake of this lesson, I do not want to waste our time, so I'll just paste the code for the button and I'll quickly explain what's going on here. So we have a tags, these are links. Let me go back to this page. So we have a tags, these are links. So and I'll provide the resource or the code in the resources folder, or you can just copy from the screen. If you have any questions, you can ask me. So yeah, our portfolio is looking nice, but oops, it seems like I didn't close the a tag for this. All right, let's try closing the a tag. What's going on? Right. So now that I've closed the a tag, we have something nice staring at us. So I think this is a font on some thingy. So we don't have it, but I would include it later on. So but let's go ahead and code this. So inside of this entire container, we have, let's just quickly review, we have a row, and inside of this row we have all these things going on. So we want to code this last part, so we would need another div to hold that part of the text. So let me open this and let me trace this down. Okay, that's for the container, this is for our row. So since this div is for our row, I'll have to come here and introduce the div that will span across. So the column in this case for this one is going to span across the entire page. That's why for the Bootstrap grid system, you have like for 12 takes the entire space from left to right. In the first row that we had, it took half, like the two elements or the two contents. Where is this 12? Anyways, let's just go back. I'll explain it here. So it takes half of the page, okay, or half of the screen, but in this case it takes like the entire column of the screen in that row. So we'll do it in such a way that we set our column to 12. So you have div dot colon hyphen 12. I'm going to also need to add a margin top. I think I should add a margin top of 5 so that we give it some space between the previous elements, between this element and this element. So I'll try to do that. I'll press enter. Okay, I'll press, oh, all right, I need to edit it again so that it pops up. Okay, I press enter. Then I want to include this text. We have a p tag that is bold, that's for this paragraph, and So I'm going to include a p tag here. First, I need to like make sure that my text are centered. Oh, my text is centered. Then I would include my p tag. I want everything perfectly aligned. So for the first text, let's just copy it from here so that I don't have to retype it again. So for the first text, okay. For the first text, I have a p tag. I have a class of I want this font to be emphasized and bold. So I will use an H3 title. So let me use an H3 title. Press enter, include my text here for now, and make every necessary adjustment later. So I'm going to like duplicate this. I should switch over here so that you can see what's going on. So I'm going to duplicate this, but in this case I'll give it a class of italic so that it will show the whole italic thingy going on there. So I'll change the class to FS, I think FSW, yeah, FSW italic. So font size, weight, italic. Is it changing? Or is it FS italic? Let me see. Let me copy the text though. Copy the text and include it here. Go back again to the page. So I would include a class of FST italic to make the fonts appear as italic. So yeah, FST italic. So here you go. We have our hero section. Whew, we have our hero section. Oh no, oh no. Day 2 completed, and this is amazing. We've done the hero section. I need to see what you guys build. You guys, I want you to impress me. Impress me. So let me show you. Let me try to like adjust on various screen size. Control Shift I. So you can see what Bootstrap does. Like Bootstrap is amazing. Bootstrap is really amazing. So I can stretch different screen sizes and it just adjusts to the respective screen size. Let's say I have pixel 7. So that's the good thing about Bootstrap. Okay, it's when you build with Bootstrap 5 or with Bootstrap, it just automatically gives you that responsiveness across all screen size. You don't have to start creating for once a desktop screen, you go back again, you create for a mobile screen. You don't have to do that or use a lot of media queries. So the moment you start adjusting the screen to respect, it automatically adjusts the content as relevant to whatever screen. So we have a nice hero section. I can't wait to see what you guys do. Till next time, I'll see you. Bye.